Halloween! You're watching Catalyst Plus TV, and today I wanted to talk about death, as in preparing your will. Now, a lot of our clients we've found don't have a will, and they think that they don't need one. Now, sometimes it's because they're really young, and other times they just don't think that death is going to come upon them. Now, death is just a natural part of life. You can't have life without having death. And in this instance, we're talking about how to protect your assets and the people that you love after an unforeseen circumstance. Now, not everybody is expecting to die in the next 12 months or the next 2 years, but sometimes accidents happen, and before you know it, you're 6 feet under and you've left people in the lurch. This week we want to talk about the reasons why you would want to get a will. So the first is to pick who is going to be your children's guardian. So for instance, if you do have kids or if you're planning to have a family, this would help in the event of your death to look after your children. You could pick family member or a really close friend of the family, but whoever it is, you know that they're going to look after your kids and their future. The second is if you have a business, you want to be able to protect that business and all the work that you've done to generate it into a successful business, and to either leave it to your business partner or somebody that would be able to continue the business in your stead. The third is who gets your assets. Now, we're talking here about your money, your life insurance policies that generally is part of your super fund, but also your house and big ticket items. Now, if you've got kids, you might want to leave that in a trust so that whoever is looking after your kids in your stead are able to financially look after them. Or if you have a partner, you might want to leave it to them. The fourth is to minimize estate tax. Now, this is where we come in. Estate tax, as people say. The reality is, if you gift more than a certain value of money, then tax will be associated with that. Now, if you do have a partner or a spouse, if you leave the money and all of your assets to them for the family unit, then the estate tax is deferred until your partner's death. So this is really important, especially if you are safeguarding your family's assets. And then ultimately, by having a will, you're making a difficult time less difficult, because even though you do have a will, every death goes through a probate, which is basically a process of ensuring that all assets are distributed. But having a will makes that probate process a lot quicker than if you didn't have a will. So how do you go about making a will? Now, our solicitor friends highly recommend that you go and find a local solicitor and talk to them, rather than doing the DIY ones that you can get from the post office. The reason being is that there's a lot of intricacies in the will that if you do a DIY, what you're intending might not actually occur. So having a really good solicitor is important so that you can make sure that your intention is exactly how it's written. Now, these are very simple processes, and generally speaking are less than $1,000 in order to get it all sorted. Sometimes it's less than $500. So that's it. They're the 5 main reasons on why to get a will and how you can go about and get one for yourself. It is a very important part of your overall financial plan, and we encourage you to go get it all sorted. In the meantime, have yourself a great week, and we'll see you in next week's episode of Catalyst Plus TV.